Good afternoon, my dear students. In my last video, I have shared with you a uniformly magnetized matter and how we have proved that the magnetization vector M is equal to the surface current density Js. Now we will talk of non-uniformly magnetized matter. First of all, let us try and understand what is the meaning of a non-uniformly magnetized matter in an inhomogeneous and anisotropic substance. So dear students, inhomogeneous word means here the matter whose density is not throughout the same, and anisotropic means any substance whose properties are different in the different directions, means they are not having the same properties in all directions. Such a substance is known as anisotropic substance. So I have taken such a substance which is inhomogeneous as well as an isotropic substance. Then the magnetization vector M is not the same everywhere for such a substance. So hence such a matter for which M vector is not the same everywhere, it is said to be a non-uniformly magnetized matter. That is, M vector here is not the same at every point. It varies from point to point. It is a function of position. So for such a matter, I have considered a rectangular block of such a substance which is anisotropic, inhomogeneous and non-uniformly magnetized. Let the magnetization is along z-axis as I have shown in the figure 1. Now I have divided this rectangular block into a large number of blocks. So for simplicity over here, I have just assumed two such bars. So I have taken two bars 1 and 2. It can be divided into a large number of blocks, but we have taken here only the two bars 1 and 2 just for simplicity, whose dimensions are delta x along x-axis, delta y along y-axis and delta z along z-axis. The dimensions of each block is same. Let I1, I2, I3 and so on be the currents flowing through all these rectangular bars. So my dear students, I have taken since two bars, so I have taken the two currents I1 and I2. Let mz vector, it is the magnetization vector along z-axis for the first rectangular bar number 1, and similarly for the second rectangular bar the magnetization vector can be given as mz, see over here as mz plus curly mz upon curly y into delta y. This is the magnetization vector for the second rectangular block. Similarly for third bar, fourth bar and so on, you can write any one. Now here I wish to tell you one thing, that since the magnetization vectors are in the same direction and it is keep on increasing along the y-axis, the currents I1 and I2 must be in the opposite direction over here. Alright. So this is also we have proved that a rectangular bar or a substance in which current is enclosed by the surface, the magnetization vector is simply related to this current, such as a magnetic moment of this bar magnet. So we will discuss this topic later on. First of all, I wish to tell over here as how mz plus curly mz upon curly y into delta y comes out to be. Now since second bar is ahead of the first bar through a distance delta y, along y-axis the distance is delta y. So what is the rate of variation of mz along y-axis? It is curly mz upon curly y. That means the magnetization vector for the second rectangular bar must be greater than mz by an amount, this one. So what is the curly mz upon curly y? It is the variation, rate of variation for 1 unit distance. And I wish to move for the delta y distance. So curly mz upon curly y into delta y, this becomes the total change in the mz. So here on the second phase, mz must be increased, means it becomes mz plus curly mz upon curly y into delta y. Just if you remember, this topic we already have done in case of curl of a vector field. The same variations are considered over here. Now what I do, see it is, let us assume that thickness of each rectangular block is very small and m vector can be assumed to be uniform within the block. See, for the first block mz is same, and for the second block this mz dash is same, and similarly for the third block, fourth block, and so on. So where I have assumed that let mz vector and this thing, it is the magnetization vectors for the first and second blocks respectively along z-axis. Now we know that the magnetic moment of each block can be assumed to be equivalent to the current circulating around it. This expression we have already proved for the uniform magnetization of the matter. I is equal to m into dz. This expression same I will apply over here for the first loop. Let the current in the first loop is I1 and the second loop it is I2. Rectangular block whose loop becomes current I1 and second rectangular block which is equivalent to a current carrying loop I2. So for the first loop I can write I1 is equal to m is replaced by mz and dz is replaced by delta z. Now similarly let curly mz upon curly y. It is the rate of variation, means rate of change of mz along y-axis. Then for the second block the magnetization vector can be written as mz plus curly mz upon curly y into delta y. Therefore, following this equation, I can write I2 is equal to mz for second block is this. So this one into delta z is same. This is equation number T. Second equation. So my dear students, I have told you already that both the currents are in opposite direction because mz is in the same direction. This is the condition which can be satisfied only if and only if I1 and I2 both are in the opposite directions. So I'll get Ix1 means net current along x-axis. It is I2 minus I1. The increased current because this is greater than I1. So I'll subtract I1 from I2. I2 minus I1. Equation number 3. Now using these equations 1 and 2 in 3, I'll get this one. Mz into delta z goes off with the mz into delta z. I am left only with the equation number 4. Now similarly, if I consider the magnetization vector is along y-axis, this is one case when I have considered the magnetization vector along z-axis. Now similarly, such a case I will reconsider again if my magnetization vector is along y-axis. These blocks will be now in the vertical position. So in that case, my equations become, for first phase, magnetization vector becomes my, and for the second phase, now see, since the blocks now becomes vertical, so therefore on moving along z-axis, my my will change. My will change by an amount curly z. So what will be the magnetization vector on the second phase? It is my plus curly my upon curly z into delta z. So just I have written equations 1 and 2 on the similar basis. I can write equations 3, next equations for I1 dash and I2 dash through the currents. And similarly I will find out the next current, that is given by net current which is along y-axis, or you can say the along negative x-axis, which is given by Ix2 minus of curly my upon curly z into delta z into delta y. Similarly, this equation I can obtain by just replacing your equation number, this one, fourth equation. In this fourth equation, you just replace suffix 1 by suffix 2, y by z, z by y, and changing here the sign as negative sign. So I will get equation number next, which is your fifth equation. Alright. Now, total current along x-axis is always the sum of the two currents, Ix1 plus Ix2. So using your equations 4 and 5 and 6, I will get this equation. But I can see this delta y into delta z. I can take it as common. So what is delta y into delta z? Length into breadth. It becomes the area which is along x-axis. So Ix is equal to this one. So keeping Sx on the left hand side, I will get this equation. So current per unit area, it is nothing but the current density, Jx. So equation 7 becomes the Jx is equal to curly mz upon curly y minus curly my upon curly z. Now, similarly, other expressions of J can be obtained from here. Just what do you have to do to find Jy? In this expression, replace x by y by z, and z by x. You will get equation number 8. Similarly, to obtain Jz, replace y by z, z by x and x by y. You will get equation number 9. Since, my dear students, I know that current density of a matter is always a vector quantity. So total current density through the specimen or the substance can be written as Jx into I cap plus Jy into J cap plus Jz into K cap. So you can use your equation 7 and 8 and 9 in equation number 10 to get the next equation, which is A equation. So this gives the total current density J vector in relation to the magnetization vectors Mx, Mi and Mz. Now I can write this right hand side of the equation A in the form of curl operator like this. So the right hand side of equation A is del cross M. You can prove this also. This is again nothing but del cross M. So hence J vector is equal to del vector cross M vector. This becomes your equation number B. Now let us come to the special case. Now first of all, this equation B or your equation A, they are showing that for a non-uniformly magnetized matter, the current density J vector is related to the magnetization vector M vector by the equation number B. What happens if the substance is uniformly magnetized? In that case, M vector will be a constant because it is same everywhere, so it will be a constant. And constant's derivative means del vector is always equal to 0. So hence, for such a substance, del cross M is 0. So if del cross M is equal to 0, J vector comes out to be 0, which is the steady current density. So hence, equation C is the condition for the steady current density. This is nothing but your non-uniformly magnetized matter. Hope you find my video easy to understand. If there is any question, you can leave a comment or you can talk to me. Thank you so much.